Hi, my name's Bianca Censori. I'm an architectural designer from Melbourne, Australia. I currently reside in Los Angeles and I'm a lead architectural designer at Yeezy. My passion for architecture lies in fabrication, conceptualizing the future of built space, and exploring the bridge between the physical and the meta. In my time there, I've had the pleasure of being able to work with designers like James Turrell, Valeria Olgiati, and Vincent van Dyson. My passion for architecture lies in fabrication, conceptualizing the future of built space, and exploring the bridge between the physical and the meta. When I was formally studying architecture, I was really interested in the ideas of the unbuilt. It was always mocked as paper architecture, which was always said to be a great concept, but totally unbuildable. And there was this paper trail of many genius designers, which I found way more interesting as those ideas typically broke through formal language, bureaucracy, and engineering consideration. I'm really interested in the concept that the metaverse becomes a manifestation of many buildings and ideas before us that never had the chance to be constructed. It's such a major part of architectural exploration and a huge reality for any designer. The realization that most projects remain on paper and do not have the chance to be built is a harsh reality. It would be a dream project for me to see the visualization of the sketches from architects and designers before us in some sort of like meta exhibit. I think we could learn a lot from conceptualizing some of these projects. Specifically for me, I'd love to see Gaetano Pesce's Church of Solitude. My design process always starts with research and references. That's really just kind of how my brain works. In order to begin visualizing a space, I really need to understand the constraints in which I'm designing. The beauty of the meta is that it lacks boundaries. When I see a lot of meta spaces, they mirror real life built forms as like some kind of ode to the familiarity of the human need to be sheltered. But I feel there's an opportunity to progress in how we define space that is more fluid that we can than what we can do in real life, especially beyond sight. I'd be interested in seeing how sound could be used to delineate space as the predominant landmark of allotment in the meta. To elaborate on what I was saying prior, the metaverse offers the opportunity to break down those formal boundaries and allows designers to fully conceptualize an idea that can actually be spatially experienced by others. It's also interesting to me the potential the meta has in exposing the constraints that society lies on land ownership in the real world and the bureaucracy that comes with the meaning of owning, renting, living, land space, green space, views, things like that. I'm interested to see like some sort of kind of social experiment, how the meta progresses in its standardization of ownership without the physicality. I wonder if it'll mimic real life or play by its own rules. So selfishly, I think the most enthusiastic groups are actually the architects and designers themselves. It's a platform that, as I've mentioned prior, allows for realistic spatial experience without boundaries. That being said, I believe as the meta progresses, it may become more of like a capitalist monster that drives exchange and experience for a cost. Realistically, I don't know if we're ever going to be sleeping and eating in the meta, but I can see brands dominating this space to create marketplaces and experiences. Anything that visually elevates, for example, closed space objects, I feel like will be amplified in these spaces and sold to the consumer. Idealistically, it would be that of one that allows the consumer to understand the process. The game changer between the physical and the meta is the ability to download a user with masses of information, typically unavailable or indigestible in the real world. The meta can explore early stage ideation, product design, business models, and even the progression to their digital capabilities. The meta is a great tool to solve traceability and transparency and introduce trust where it is lacking between designer and consumers. There is a transparency that is lacking, which the meta could really play a huge role in bridging. I'd really like to see the meta move away from the mimicking of real life experiences and architecture. It's constantly described as boundaryless. So let's see, I would love to see it explored for what it really means if you have the opportunity to fabricate a world with no boundaries.
So, according to reports, that are coming in, Kanye West, commonly known as Ye and the wife, Bianca Censori actually have already broken up, according to what Hollywood Reporter came out to reveal in a breaking story that actually erupted the whole internet. This split comes on the heels of Kanye and Bianca Censori's controversial appearance, at the Grammys, and Ye's anti-Semitic, hateful misogyny social media rants, where he declared himself, a very huge fan of Adolf H. And this comes actually 11 days since Kanye paraded a nearly uncladded Bianca Censori at the Grammys red carpet, when he told her to drop the coat she was putting on, revealing that see-through dress. So Kanye later, after the Grammys, he was spotted with Bianca Censori having, an engaging conversation that seemed a bit unserious, and the feeling didn't reveal any red flags. But man, what's now coming out reveals that the two have already broken up. They buried each other. I think that was in 2023 in a private ceremony. Then some people on the internet have been saying, Kanye is controlling, Bianca Censori hugely, not even letting her speak, not even letting her use social media. Because when you happen to look at Bianca Censori's Instagram, she hasn't been posting a lot ever since they got each other. And it was even just 10 months ago, like you've heard at the beginning of this video, when when everyone actually heard her voice for the first time, almost 2 years when they started dating. It means Ye was really controlling this lady, even the kind of images the kind of image she could put on in public, putting on see-through clothes, revealing her private parts and stuff like that, was really shaming. And now it seems the lady has broken from the shackles of Ye, and finally she is free. But obviously, some reports I was reading through USA Today, and they said that the two are not actually considering divorce in this moment in time. But what we can tell in this moment in time is the two are not with each other. So let us hope things pan out well for both sides, because man, this relationship was really very, very confusing. Bye bye for now.